Our next speaker for tonight is a very young, dynamic, energetic man. I've come to love this man, and I'd like to listen to him always, over and over and over again. He is a business strategist and growth advisory expert with over 20 years of experience in the areas of risk, change, and leadership management. His other areas of expertise include financial performance, marketing strategy, business restructuring, and human resources development. He is a management consultant and management trainer and currently serves as the Vice President of Education for Toastmasters International Swakopmund chapter. Penny is a speaker of note at business conferences and a management trainer for both macro and micro companies. He is a member of the Professional Speakers Association of Namibia, which forms part of the Global Speakers Federation. And guess what? He is also a columnist for the Coastal Mail. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking to us tonight on Great Leaders are Catalysts, please help me welcome Penny Toit to the podium.
This light's so bright, you can see into the future. I wish those lights were where they were when I left school, so it can show me what the future looks like. But I was not that lucky. When I left school, I was lost. I knew nothing. I knew nobody. I didn't know anything about leadership. I didn't know anything about management. I didn't know nothing about nothing. And the only work I could find was so low on the food chain that there wasn't hardly any food for me to eat. That was a security guard. They said, fill in this register. Only let the people on this attendance list through. And I'm still waiting for that list. I haven't seen that list before. I fell around my first 10 years. I even tried being a petrol attendant. If it wasn't for my unique physique, I would have most probably taken up pole dancing. And then I got married to a beautiful woman, 13 years now. In the beginning, we were very broke. We could hardly pay for the car, and we started eating a lot of cabbage. Now, you must understand, if cabbage becomes your staple food, you know how to cook it. You know how to process it. You know how to do with it to make a meal of it. And you can't eat the same cabbage the same night. I can do it in 14 different ways, raw or cooked. You must just tell me what you like. I became a cabbage specialist. Then one day, one man came to me with one question. He said, "What is your message?" I said, "Are you mad? I can't even put food on the table." "How do you mean? What is my message?" "Message doesn't give me food. It doesn't feed my wife. I had 2 dogs. Doesn't feed them either." And Peter became my catalyst. He took me under his wing. He was kicking and screaming, I must tell you. But he taught me the theory. He allowed me to make mistakes. He allowed me to fail as long as there was a lesson learned. And last year, something happened. Me and my wife were standing in the kitchen one evening and cooking cabbage. And as I cut it open, and I was about to cut the core out, my wife said, "Wait, the Cocker Spaniel likes the hard, bitter part." Couldn't believe it, so I took a piece, bite it, cut it off and bit it, tasted it. And I said to myself, this is hard, bitter, nobody wants it. A week later, we had the same cabbage, but that cabbage, I cut it up, I threw the hard part in the pressure cooker. And that had an effect, that the core of that cabbage became soft, sweet, and palatable. It realigned that hard, bitter atoms so that you could actually eat it. In a world today, our companies does not perform, our teams does not deliver. We peel back the layer to find the core, the hard bitter core, and what do? We cut it out. We get rid of it because it's not palatable. We don't want to deal with it because we do not want to face that harsh reality. James works for me. James is always late. James doesn't want to come to meetings. James has all the excuses in the world. My cat had little cats. My uncle died twice. This weekend and last weekend. The manager gave me other work. I had to drive Mr. Johnson to a meeting. I'm pregnant. Are you sure, James? The taxi, my wife, the boss, everybody else's excuse but mine. Could have, would have, should have, but I didn't. It creates a problem because now we fire James. Now we start to train again, re-employ, find out that he's also hard bitter core, fire him again. So we start to train, re-employ, fire. Train, re-employ, fire. Is that what we want in business? And you're asking me, why do you have a high staff turnover? We don't want to deal with a bitter core. What happened if we decided to stop and do something about that core? What about if I tell you that we as leaders today in our field need to look at the core of the cabbage and become a catalyst to make it soft and palatable? I'm going to give you a formula. M times M equals C. Message times mentorship equals catalyst. And I'm going to explain that a bit to you so that you understand. If you have a message, you have to give it with conviction. If you have a message, that conviction, you must believe it. A message also has to be passionate. That passion only comes when you live that message. Your message has to be a message that you deliver with determination. People will tell you you are wrong. People will tell you this is not the right idea. People will tell you that you have to deviate course. People will tell you that the theorists says you must not do that. But you have to determinedly keep on doing what you need to do. Mentorship. The formula for mentorship is time. You have to put in the time with that mentor. You have to put pressure on your mentor. That is where you add the energy. Remember the cabbage? I had to add energy. I had to put it under pressure to make it soft and palatable. But minus the failure. We have to allow for failures as long as there's a lesson to be learned. On March 22 this year, 2017, Forbes brought out the global leaders, top global leaders for 2017. Can you tell me who number one is? Do you know the guy by the name of Theo Epstein? I didn't know him. He's the operations manager or director of operations for the Chicago Cubs. They are a baseball team. He is the number one leader in the world. That tells me one thing: he must have done something extraordinary. Now let's look if this formula is working. At a gala dinner, Theo Epstein said in 2012, guys, we're going to take the Cubs to the World Series. And people laughed at him. But he kept this message going. 2016, Theo Epstein ended a 108-year drought. 108 years, they did not win any World Series. Theo Epstein went over and said to them, guys, we are going to win the World Series. Fox News reported and said, Theo Epstein is dreaming. It's not going to work. Theo Epstein will still find out that the Cubs is destined for failure. But he was determined to keep that up. What do you think Theo Epstein did when he realized that he had to become a mentor? Theo Epstein started by giving them time. He invested his time in them. The first 3 years was chaotic. It took them 5 years to win that World Series. He put them under pressure. He made them wear wearable technology to find their body's hidden values. That is pressure, I tell you. If that is not pressure, I don't know what is. When you have something electronically connected to you to find out where your body's hidden values are, you are under pressure. And he allowed them to make mistakes. He allowed them failures. In their first year, they made 101 losses out of 162 games. That's a lot. But he still kept preaching the same message. He was determined. I'm going over this again because I want you to become a catalyst. I want you to become a leader which is going to invest that time, which is going to become a mentor for someone else. So I want to again tell you what that formula is. Get a message. A message times mentorship equals catalyst. Get a message and live it. Get a message, deliver it. Get a message and drive it. Get a mentee, tell someone that message. If you have a message and you tell no one, who's going to believe you? I became a catalyst. I became involved in a school food program. The guy who made the suit for me tonight is local talent. Didn't buy an imported suit. A local guy has never made a suit like this before. And I went to him and I said to him, I put him under pressure and said, I want a suit like that and it must be a pinstripe suit. I haven't done that before, sir. I said, then you try. Do you want me to pay you up front? That is being a catalyst. I didn't create a new line for him. I became a catalyst. I want you to understand mentorship is not when you say, let me show you how. Mentorship is not when you tell a person step by step, ABC. Mentorship is when you say, let's explore together. Let's go find out how, you and me together. If you have a message and you get a mentor, you are a catalyst. Here's the trick, however. If you get another mentee, you are a catalyst twice over. If you get another mentee, you are a catalyst thrice over. Because all you do, your message stays the same, and you drive that message with every mentee you get. One man, one day, came to me with one question. The answers were all there, but the question was what made the difference. My question to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, what is your message and who are you going to tell it to? I thank you.
Thank you so much, Penny. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for Penny. What is your message and who are you going to tell it to? You know what inspires me very much so much is that you don't need one mentee. You need many mentees. And I believe that we're all products of someone. A lot of people may have invested a lot of time, energy, and resources for you and I to be what we are and where we are today. How wonderful would this world not be if we return the gesture?